What if I told you that some crucial concepts of life that you can't put your finger on or really articulate can actually be summed up in like 2 words? That's the beauty of economics. I'm gonna say this now, economics can be infuriating as hell. But remember, amidst all those convoluted graphs and infuriating formulas, economics is a social science. It is the study of how society uses its limited resources. What are those? Time and money. There are so many incredible practical applications to real life that can really improve outcomes in your personal decision making. And that's what I'm gonna delve into here in this video. This is gonna be pretty digestible. I'm gonna start off each point with the term in question, define it from an economical and real life perspective, and then explain how you can apply it to your personal life. Let's get into it. Also, if you enjoy learning new, innovative ways to navigate this crazy life, like and subscribe to this teeny tiny YouTuber, and let's get a move on. Now, in economic decision making, sunk cost refers to an investment that has already been made that cannot be recovered. These costs can refer not only to money, but also your time and your energy, although money usually is the biggest motivator. Here's the kicker with sunk costs. When businesses decide whether to continue or terminate a business venture, sunk costs are completely ignored. They are held independent of the decision that has yet to be made. And the problem is, as everyday humans, sunk costs may be the only thing we account for when making a decision. I'll give you an example of a woman planning her wedding. Let's say intuitively she knows that this person is emotionally manipulative and toxic, but she rationalizes moving forward with the wedding based purely on sunk costs. For instance, I've already spent 6 months planning the wedding. I've already put $10,000 for the venue and the catering. The invitations have already been sent out and people have already RSVP'd. And guess what? She marries the guy. She spends 5 more years in an abusive marriage that ends up ending in divorce anyways. And trust me, divorce is probably going to be way more expensive than that wedding you were planning. Don't be this person. You end up losing bigger later on. And you have to backtrack on that decision later on anyways. We are, by default, irrational, emotional, and perhaps most crucially, and to our own demise really, we prioritize conserving energy above all else. And we ignore our intuition based solely on sunk costs. Sunk costs should be ignored. This has been far too condensed of an explanation, but for the sake of time and engagement, I'm going to move forward to number 2. A cost-benefit analysis is basically this systematic process in which you measure the benefits minus the costs of a certain decision. In economics, this is usually expressed in monetary units. If that resulting number is positive, benefits outweigh the costs. That means it might be a good idea to continue forward with that decision. If it's negative, meaning costs outweigh benefits, it might be time to rethink that decision. A cost-benefit analysis is pretty systematic and exhaustive by design. You have to sit down and really take some time to define your goals and your objectives, your definition of success versus failure, and also carefully identify the costs and the benefits. Then you need to assign the value or weight to each cost and benefit. What I mean by that is, if you compare the costs and benefits of running a mile, you're not going to compare the benefit of increasing endorphins to the cost of becoming sweaty equally, because not all costs and benefits are created equal. That's what I mean by assigning value. Okay, so this is basically like a complex T-chart. What is so great about it is it allows you to break down a decision into digestible components and define each component, which is great because it forces you to slow down and properly analyze everything. And I truly believe that people make some of the biggest mistakes when they make a major decision in a hurry. So this is great when you're feeling lost and need to redefine some important goals or life trajectories, but can't decide which road to take. So just create multiple cost-benefit analyses for each possible decision you can make moving forward, and then compare. Now, barrier to entry in the economic context refers to the factors that prevent or deter the entry of a newcomer into a market or industry. These factors are very specific to that particular industry, but can include things like high launching or startup costs, excess regulations. Now, this idea of barriers to entry pops up in many facets of everyday life, but most notably when taking on a new goal. For example, starting a YouTube channel has relatively high barriers to entry. It takes quite a bit of time and a hell of a lot of energy to even learn how to use the platform, learn how to film and edit a video, and you likely have some startup costs for new equipment. So what's the bottom line? You need to look for ways to reduce your barriers to entry. In doing so, you increase the likelihood of you starting something that you've likely been putting off. Okay, so reducing your barriers to entry in the context of YouTube might look something like this. Filming on your phone instead of buying a full-blown camera, or buying a refurbished camera instead of a brand new one. Using natural window lighting instead of buying a whole lighting set, or start filming smaller, less complex ideas so that you're not overwhelmed. This might make you more likely to start your channel instead of putting it off for like another year. Also, side note, I believe this can also help with reducing what I call goal resentment. We all have frustrations at the beginning stages of starting a new goal, and I believe that if it's too frustrating and you have to sacrifice far too much upfront, you actually end up resenting that goal later on down the road, which makes you more likely to quit later on. So reducing your barriers to entry can really help in reducing that goal resentment. That's what I call it. Win-win. Opportunity cost is basically the cost that you incur when pursuing one decision over the next best decision. In other words, there is not only a cost to everything that we do as much as there is opportunity, but there's also an alternative to everything that we can do. Usually, our two most valuable resources, like I mentioned in the intro, are time and money, because they're limited. But it could also include things like enjoyment or satisfaction. So it's completely up to us how we choose to spend these resources. And you must think to yourself, is there something better I can do with this time and money? So it really forces you, like a cost-benefit analysis, to analyze everything that you choose on a deeper level. Also, opportunity cost is subjective. The amount of time and money that you have available is unique to you, and what you prefer to do with those resources is also completely up to you. In other words, you have your own idea of what is considered the best decision and the next best decision. Take this common example of the opportunity cost of attending college versus working straight out of high school full-time. Attending college might be your best choice, while the latter is your next best choice. And the opportunity cost of going to college is huge and includes things like the tuition you're paying, which could be spent on something else, time and energy spent, because college is not easy, as well as all the time you're losing that could be spent working towards financial independence. It's not just a question of what do I have to gain or lose by this decision. It's also a question of, is there possibly a better alternative to using my limited resources? And it makes you think a little bit differently. Scarcity, the fundamental problem that drives all economic study. The dreaded gap between limited resources and unlimited wants. No matter how productive we become, how much money we earn, or how much time we think we have, we will never accomplish everything we want, buy everything we want, or enjoy as much as we would like. Because money is not limitless, time is not limitless, and human energy is not limitless. Because of this idea of scarcity, we must face the dismal reality that there are limits to what we can do. I guess the only thing that's limitless really is, well, the ability to desire more. Now, what's the take-home lesson from this? Well, adjust your expectations for one thing. But the other takeaway is this: scarcity should be the ultimate motivator, not only for making better decisions in your life, but also enjoying life as it is in the present moment. If we come to terms with the fact that money is a limited and incredibly important resource, we'll likely be more motivated to learn more innovative ways to invest, save, or spend that resource. Same with time. Time is precious. And our time on earth is not limitless, guys. Enjoy what you have in the now, adjust your expectations for the future, and always strive to make the best out of your current limited resources. So there you go. These were 5 fundamental economic concepts that you can apply to enhance decision making in your life and really just make the most of it. Thinking like an economist doesn't have to be complicated, and you saw the practical and rather simplistic ways to apply economic concepts to your life. I have some fun articles in the description box for you if you'd like some more insight on each one of the terms that I've just discussed. I greatly appreciate you watching till the end, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye now.